Hello. I can't hear though. Hey, hello there, everybody. I know it's no sound. I unmuted everybody. Okay, I can hear a little bit. You guys have to unmute yourselves, I think, because I tried to unmute you. Let's see. Unmute everybody. Everybody should be able to say something.
Hello, it's Chrishon.
Hi.
Here.
Hey.
Hello.
Hi. Hey, Loretta. Who else is here? Linda, I know I saw you.
I have to fix my sound. Hold on.
Okay, so everybody coming in, you will have to unmute yourselves because I took the week off. And hi, Linda.
I'm here. Can you guys hear me?
Yes.
Okay. But can you see me though?
A little. I mean, I don't think you can see me very well either. I'm trying. Okay, everybody. Okay. Welcome. I was trying to wait a few more minutes. It's just 3 after. Can everybody hear me?
Yes.
Nice to meet you.
Pleasure.
I'm so happy you had time to stop in today.
Yes, no, I'm happy to be here. And I'm going to apologize now. I have a hard stop at 7:59. I have to be on WVON if that's okay with you.
Oh, yes, absolutely.
Thank you. Sorry about that. Thank you.
Okay, I was hoping to be a little bit earlier anyway, because I know that some of us still have to do things, have to be at work. So, no problem. So let's see who else is trying to come in here. Kathy and someone, Nashura. So I'll give it a couple more minutes. Kathy, you don't want video?
Who, me?
Kathy
said no.
She said no. Okay.
Take her head no, like you can see her.
Okay, guys, as you come in, you have to unmute yourselves if you want to say hello.
Hi, this is Natasha.
Hi, Natasha.
Hi, I got an invite from Facebook friend Delisha.
Okay. Welcome. And we have Danae coming in. Okay, why is she muted? I guess Natasha maybe has some noise in her background. So guys, of course, you know if you have noise in your background. Danae, do you want? Okay, let's see. Okay, guys, we're gonna get started soon. Trying to wait for a few more people to come in. How's everybody doing?
Good.
Good.
We have, we're all under this quarantine, and some of us, unless you have those jobs where you have to get out, you're going to be inside. So, okay, so hey, where are you? And I don't see Chrishon anymore.
I'm here.
Oh, you're here? Okay. All right. I'm trying to put this thing in the gallery so I can see. There we go. All right. Okay. One more minute, I think. Hey, Chaz. Where's your audio? She's coming in. Okay.
Hi, Gail.
Hi. Welcome.
How you doing, honey?
Fine. I hear myself echoing everywhere. So happy that you could join us. Hey, Danae. Danae's here.
Hey there.
Okay. So, all right, everybody. One more minute, and I think we should go. Okay. So it's 7 minutes after we just want to people will be here and stay here. right, so welcome to Shypanther Friends, everybody. This is
Woohoo!
this is Zoom edition, and so thank you all for taking the time to stop in tonight. And we're all under this pandemic, and I just wanted us all to be mindful and thoughtful of the fact that this is very real. It's affecting us, and it's affecting even how we do business, especially for like this, for instance. I've never done Zoom before, except maybe once, and it's changed the way we're going to live our world from now on. So, we just keep each other, the world, in our thoughts and prayers, and just pray we all get through it well and safe before we start the show. So, normally I do the show through AM 1680, that's at Q4 Radio in Chicago, but of course tonight we're on Zoom, and we're going to have a great time. We have a wonderful guest, Chrishon Lampley, and I'll have her introduce who she is. She's an outstanding person to me. As a matter of fact, she's one of very few African American women who are wine business owners. So that's saying a whole lot in a field that's dominated historically by men. So it couldn't have been an easy journey to get in, and she's definitely making it a dent in that field. So, Chrishon Lampley.
Oh, thank you. That was sweet of you. Thank you guys for having me. It is, and I want to reiterate my prayers and thoughts for everyone. I lost a godfather in New York to COVID-19, and I have a godmother in the hospital to it. So it is real. It is very real, and I need everyone to just be safe, be mindful, respect each other, and know that even though you're not sick, you could be a carrier and give something to someone else, especially our elders. So just be safe and be careful. But on a light note, thank you for having me. I really appreciate it. But again, my name is Chrishon Lampley. I'm the owner of Love Corkscrew. In the industry, I'm a negociant. What that really equates to is the chemist of wine, if you will. So I'm a winemaker. I launched in 2013, and years later, going on 7 years now, over 200,000 bottles sold. I'm in Mariano's, Target, Whole Foods, Benny's, you name it. And I'm sold around the nation via shipping with my wine club. And yes, it's very few of us. So out of African American women that are either negociants, vineyard owners, winemakers, sommeliers, there's literally only 60 of us out of 111,000 in the world that
Wow.
yes, we are smaller than people think. We all talk about, yes, brown people are very small in most industries, but literally 60 of us, 60. Out of 111,000 in the entire world. So this ain't easy. I'll tell you that much. It ain't easy.
Wow. So why wine, and how did you get into it?
Wine actually I've been in customer service and sales and marketing for over 25 years. Was to work on in Chicago for so long, fashion industry. And working in that industry, I learned so much about people. Like I always say, I learned cultural nuances and nonverbal and verbal communication. And I took that and developed a bar, actually, as my sorority sister and myself opened up a bar called 3P's Art Lounge years ago. That stood for painting, pottery, and photography. We were very popular in Chicago. We were one of the first African-American women to get a liquor license within the South Loop in Chicago. So again, years ago, we closed due to an awful flood. But during that time, we won Chicago's Best as the best wine list, and I wrote the wine list. So I took that knowledge, took the knowledge of working in distribution for a while. I was in sales and distribution, and I knew what was missing. The obvious, we were missing. But besides that, a lot of support with small batch, small businesses, and all the bars and restaurants. They got sick of purchasing the wine that everybody forced them, like myself as a salesperson, forced them to buy all the crap. They didn't want everything that all grocery stores had. So I took my lessons, my connections, and I did what people told me there's no way I could do. And that's own my own wine company. So each individual varietal, so I have 6 varietals out, those are my own, my creation. And no, I don't make it in my bathtub. I source it from a vineyard. So they house my tanks. So the tanks that are within the companies, within the vineyards and wineries, they are the property of Love Corkscrew, certain ones obviously with certain varietals. And I did, like I said, what everybody said I couldn't do.
Isn't that something? So yeah, don't listen to those people telling you what you can't do. No. So I'm interested in the names of the wines. How did you come with those?
Yeah, so for you guys that don't know, if you look it up or if you can look on the web, it's called lovecorkscrew.com, and my Instagram and social media, Love Corkscrew. You'll see my varietals. So on each bottle, instead of just saying Cabernet Sauvignon, Riesling, Pinot Grigio, I actually did catchphrases. And I did that for a reason. Number one, the people buy wine for the label. Number two, the price. Number three, the taste. People will go back for 1 and 2 and not even really like the wine, but because they recognize it, they feel comfortable. So I said to myself, most people cannot pronounce Chianti, Chenin Blanc, Bordeaux, all those funny names, right? So I said, I got you. I'm going to actually do catchphrases. So like my Pinot Grigio is good times, good friends. My Cabernet Sauvignon is we're moving on up. Yep, the Jeffersons. My Rosé is we go high, because like Michelle Obama, when they go low, we go high. So everything is a catchphrase. And again, 6 varietals out now. And that's just an easy way for people to identify what they like. Okay. My number 1 seller is my Riesling, which is Head Over Heels. So people say, I want a bottle of Head Over Heels. And I keep it very simple.
Yeah, I'm checking it out. I thought that was very creative. And I would definitely remember the names of these more than the technical names, I guess, or the venue.
Yeah.
And just another thing too, I checked out that you have a podcast. Whenever I see that somebody has a podcast, I think, oh, cool. And it's called The Love Seat. Now, how fitting is that, right?
Well, The Love Seat, actually, so that's a video podcast, if you will, or a video that I do, that I post on Instagram and, of course, on Facebook. But I always get people asking me to mentor them. And a lot of times I meet a lot of people in different states when I travel for speaking engagements that I just can't, I can't physically do it. So I said, I'm going to start just a little 3-minute inspirational things that happen. And it took off. So the Love Seat is literally me sitting on my love seat in my home, not here. I'm in my office right now, but out in my living room, my love seat. And I'm just inspiring entrepreneurs, not just African-American women, people, inspiring people to follow their dreams and do it. Because you live one life.
So, ladies, anybody else have questions? You want to jump in? Have any questions for Chrishon? Can you guys hear me? It looks like
I can hear you.
Okay. Hey, so anybody have questions? Because Kathy looks like she has a question. No? No. Oh, I'm sorry. Okay.
No, it's just very interesting conversation.
Yeah,
That's awesome. Congratulations.
Thank you very much. Thank you. It's not easy, but Love Corkscrew has gotten a lot of things that a lot of these large wine companies have not, and it's simply from pushing social media. If it wasn't for my social media, and any of you ladies that may be in business, I preach this all the time. Use your social media as a positive platform, not just not a personal platform, but at the same time, business-wise, I still push who I am, because I always say in business, you're not reinventing the wheel. I'm sorry. Whatever you do, somebody else has done. People buy into you, not just your product, you. So if you push it out there, yes, eventually it's going to grow and sprout out to where your product can speak for itself. But you got to get it a start, right? You got to get it started somewhere. You need to develop a following. And my Instagram gets over 500,000 impressions a month. Oh. So again, if it wasn't for social media, I would not have sold 200,000 bottles. It's who I am. I don't have anybody else do it. So every post you see at every minute is me. I don't know how I find the time, but you have to. You have to.
I was going to say that. How do you find the time? Because it is not easy.
You know what? I love when people that are entrepreneurs will say, or busy. You don't have to just be an entrepreneur. Us busy people say, oh, I take the time and I step away and I meditate and I do this. Nah, that's a lie. I don't. I'm nonstop working, nonstop thinking. Even when I'm meditating, all of a sudden my business pops in my head. So I can't even lie to you and say that. So I am, like, my boyfriend calls me a robot. Like, I'm nonstop thinking and moving. I'm multitasking. This industry has nonstop moving parts. And if I take any type of break in one sector, I'm going to lose the momentum. So I have to, you know, I'm lucky. I have a publicist. I'm lucky to have a creative director, and I have ambassadors, but I'm still technically a one-man show. So I have to do everything I have to do to survive. And nowadays, I mean, we're talking about a whole nother ball game now, right? With this unfortunate new world that we're in. So online presence and social media is powerful right now. There's going to be people who are going to lose everything, unfortunately, but there's going to be some millionaires.
That's right. And, you know, I was going to ask you about that because I was talking to another entrepreneur, Shypanther of my girlfriend's photo booth. And I mean, I'm just noticing how people who are 2, 3, 4, 5 years into their business and beyond, and they still do a lot of their own, what you just said, your own social media. They're very
everything froze.
So, you know, it's just, I was thinking, well, you know, at what point do you get extra help? Do you get somebody to do this and that? But I see that it's very important that you stay very active and very involved in the whole process. So, I mean, I think, Chrishon, did you freeze? I think maybe she froze. But anyway, I just thought that was interesting how here I am so new thinking that I got to go get all this extra help and kind of remove myself a little bit when in fact that's not the truth at all. I have to participate be involved as much as possible. Is this okay? Is it? Am I doing something weird to the thing? Can you all hear me?
Yep.
Yeah, I can still hear you.
Okay, I think Chrishon,
I think we lost her.
Okay. Well, hopefully she'll come back. So, you ladies, you all are doing different things. Tell us, or some of you, I know you are. Go tell me what you do. Loretta, I know you're doing travel. So tell me.
Yeah. It's very difficult right now. The travel industry has taken a huge hit because everyone is either afraid to travel, all of their trips are being canceled.
Yeah.
Just everything. And so, you know, at this point, we're just trying to encourage all travel agents that I've even connected with. We're just trying to encourage all of our clients to, you know, don't cancel your trip. Just push it back. Push it, you know, if you want to push it back to later this year, or even if you want to push it back to next year, just to feel more comfortable with it. I personally had to cancel a personal trip of my own. I actually have 2 additional trips scheduled for this year personally. That one for my whole family, and then another for my husband and I think we may actually have to cancel both of those trips as well, just depending on how things pan out. I have found a couple of different tools that I tend to use for social media posting. One is called, what is the name of that app? now that I'm thinking about it, I'll have to get it back to you because I can't think of it right now. But there's an app that I use where I can actually put a post in. I can create a post in the app, and then it will at random times post to my Facebook, my Twitter account, and my Instagram. And it will post all the information. Like, for instance, you know, with Instagram, you can't post a website or a link, but you can post hashtags, and hashtags are what gets you a lot of visibility as far as concerned and your content. So I'm able to, you know, manipulate the information that's being posted on each of those sites so that it posts to all 3. So I only have to create one post, manipulate it a little bit, and then it'll be scheduled to go out at various times. And I try to usually schedule things out maybe a week or so at a time, just to get things, just so then that way I have a nice cushion as far as what's going on in the travel industry and things like that.
I think one of them is called Phantom. Background noise. I don't know what it is. Okay, but I think one of them is called Plannerly, and that's one of the apps that helps you plug a lot of stuff in there and helps you. You know, it'll you can put it on your schedule and it'll just do what it needs to do for you. And I hear that it's a pretty good one. Okay. So Chrishon is back.
Was that me? That pause? That was weird.
I don't know. It's like you disappeared and then you came back in. I don't know what the heck happened.
I'm back. Sorry.
Yeah. So, but we were talking about, you know, just the challenges of being able to do so much, and I was talking before you left out. Very, very involved still, and your business is, you know, very popular, and you're well known and well established. So I was just wondering, like, at what point, I guess you'll know when to let go a little bit more of the responsibility of making sure.
Yeah. You know, now that's funny. I don't know if you guys touched on this when I was gone, but you know, there's an algorithm too to
True.
posting on social. Follow the very simple algorithms. Now, of course, you can Google the times and everything you want to do, but my algorithm that I based it off of a few studies that I saw years ago. Number one, what do people do when they wake up? Pick up their phone and go on social media.
Okay.
So I always have an early post, something around 8 o'clock on at least one of the channels, right? Something between 8 and 10 o'clock. I'm an early riser, so I actually usually post at 6. And what's so awesome is that if I post around that time, as soon as people turn their phone on or look at their phone,
yeah,
those posts are going to be, those are going to be the first feed.
okay. I think
Then when everybody takes lunch, what do? Go to their phone. Yeah. So that noon post, when everybody gets off work, that's between 4 and 6, what do? Go to their phone. And right before we go to bed, we go to their phone. So I just gave you 4 times that are hot times for people to post. Right. And that's when you're going to get the nooks and cranny and the juiciest times where you're going to have the most people on social media. It's literally that simple. So that's number one. Number two, as far as I don't know if you guys touched on this, about giving people your, giving interns and stuff in social media people your social media, giving them the rights to post. This was the issue. So I've been in business 7 years. The first 2 years, I decided to listen to everybody and do that, right? I hired social media people to post things. Now, were their posts great? Absolutely. Were people engaging? Absolutely not. Because it wasn't me. Mm-hmm. It wasn't organic. They were very well done, but they weren't organic. Now, there's 2 folds to this. Your posts need to be organic, but on my pictures, you guys can research through my Instagram and Facebook. You will never, ever see one shadowy bad picture on there. Whether I'm taking a picture of someone or a selfie of myself, the trick that nobody ever does, wipe off the back of your phone. If I see one more shadowy picture, I'm going to throw them off. Like some people, I have inboxed them and told them, take that picture off, wipe the back of your phone, and take it again. So you will always see something professional. So that's number one. So when I say take control of your social media, I want you to be organic, but I want you to be strategic. Mm-hmm. Make sure it's something that people need to know that's going on. You're not going to see 50 million posts of me and my man and, oh, I'm booed up. No, you're not going to see that. Nobody cares. Trust me, nobody cares about you and your man. What I will show them are things that are happening within the business and for them to know I'm human. That goes a long way. And I also engage with people. So if somebody posts something, I'll like it, I'll reshare it. If they post a bottle of my, I'll reshare it in a second. And what does that do? That makes people know that I care. Right. And then they can't wait till they share it with their friends or till they call like, oh my God, somebody posted, oh my God, you're here, you're real. Yes, it's me. It's me. And that you don't know how you touch people and you affect people. So take advantage of social media in a positive way, but also be present. Otherwise, don't use it. If you're gonna post something once every 2 months, just stop. That's just not for you. It's just not for you because you're not engaging and nobody cares because they don't see you. So social media is very important. I hope I dropped some gems there.
Absolutely. So anybody else have any questions? Or
I have a question.
okay, come on, Chaz.
I'm sorry, guys. It took me forever to be able to hear you guys, and I know you all were just talking away, and I was missing all of the juice, all of the tea. But I'm Chaz, and I am the founder of the Girls in the Hood Foundation and the Brilliant Brown Boys Book Club. So I work a lot with youth around the city. And I wanted to ask our guest, Ms. Chrishon Lampley, what has been your biggest obstacle in business, and how did you, like, your biggest barrier, and how did you get over it? And I apologize if you already touched on this.
No, that's a great question. The biggest obstacle, I believe, for all of us, and it definitely was me, is yourself. And where that came for me is I always used to take things personally. For instance, a few years back, I was on a reality show called The Job Interview, and it was on CNBC. We were the premiere night, and the job interview was based on companies that were hiring. And we were flown to New York, and we actually truly were interviewing people to work for our companies. So imagine there's about 1,000 cameras around you that you can't even see. So sometimes when people say reality is not real, it's real, because you become really yourself, believe you me, when you can't see cameras. So the short of it is, after the show premiered, and we were on the premiere night of the show, so just think you're in front of millions of people, but understand the sector on CNBC. It's not Bravo, on CNBC. That night I have a party with some friends, and my phone was blowing up, and I said, I'm not going to look at my phone because it's going to be too much. Next morning I woke up, I'm looking at my phone, and I had about 300 emails, and I will lowball it and say 70% of them were racist. Whoa. They were majority of people saying because I didn't hire the white girl that I was being racist because I hired somebody who was black. But mind you, the white girl came in with shorts on. Who am I going to hire that comes in and walks in with shorts? But they were mostly racist. A lot of people were saying, your wine, it can't be good because it's not from Australia, it's not from New Zealand. Just all this stuff that meant nothing. I was taking it personal. And to a point where my feelings were hurt, I cried a little bit, and I never forget, a friend said to me, the post that you're getting, that's some redneck and sitting in Omaha. Are you ever going to see them? I said, no. He's like, you'll never see them. Mm-hmm. So why are you worried about it? Right. So I know that's a long story, but I wanted to give you guys the scope of the fact that you can only get in your way, and you're always going to be your largest obstacle. Right. And at the same time, you can't, and this is what I caution us as Black women, and if anybody else is not on here, I can't see everybody, so I apologize, but brown people, us as Black women, we always have to roar. I'm Black woman. This is a Black business. Black, 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 Black. We do that so much that we don't listen and we never learn. Sometimes you just need to shut up. Mm-hmm. Sit back, listen, learn, find out what's going on in the room, and trust me, people will know you're there. Okay. I never forget, I was in Michigan at an Army base, and I was doing a whole speech for the Chamber of Commerce. It was a women's conference, and for them to get money, I had to pretty much be pimped out, right, to go to this Chamber of Commerce and speak. All white men. I never forget, I'm talking, and I'm looking, and I'm like, oh my God, I've really been put in this predicament. Prior to that, before they knew what was going on, I was at a cocktail party, and I'm just listening to the people around me. I've been in meetings where I just listen to the people around me. And eventually somebody in each setting always comes up to me and says, wait a minute, you're the owner, aren't you? Because I'm just listening. You don't have to walk in and be all up in everybody's face. No, it's not necessary. Listen, learn, grow. And trust me, you will succeed way higher than they will if you just listen. That's my, I'm sorry, I can go on and on about
I
stuff.
love
So.
it. Thank you. Thank you. I love it. That resonates.
Right. So let's see. Delicious join. Shypanther Lampley, your sound is off. Delicia, is she still here? Oh, hey. Unmute yourself. You're gonna jump in the conversation? Here.
I'm just listening. I'm here to listen.
Delicious.
Delicious.
Well, here's a lady who has influenced a lot of people. And we have Marcella.
Hi.
Marcella, you have to unmute yourself too. So I know you probably want to say something, Delicious. Unmute yourself. Okay, I can't hear. Okay, so I was saying to you, I know you want to say something because you recommended that I invite Chrishon Lampley here. So for that, I truly appreciate it and thank you so much. And she pretty much twisted the arm.
I wanted to have Chrishon on because I'm such a fan of her.
Oh, Delicious, you're amazing. She's such a great supporter. She drinks Love Corkscrew, and I always see you. I always say I got some eyes, and they're in the front, back, around, and you've been there from day one. So thank you.
I appreciate you being ahead of me so I can follow right behind you.
Let's make it. There's enough room for all of us. Let's do it.
She pretty much twisted my arm when I realized that we couldn't go in the studio. So I'm like, well, what do I do? Do I cancel? What do I do? And she said, no, you don't cancel. Do something else. Get Zoom. So, I mean, I had to learn. You have to move with whatever's happening. You have to be flexible if you want to be here. So,
And can I touch on that a little bit?
Yes.
If you don't mind.
No, I don't mind at all. Go ahead.
I've seen a lot of social media, and a lot of us on social media are nonstop speaking about everything bad of what's happening, how it's affecting us in a negative light. We know people who are being ignorant, who are not taking social distancing serious, all that. We also know the obvious too, and I'm going to speak it because I've always been very blunt. There's going to be a lot of people who are going to lose their a lot of small businesses outside of Chicago, in Chicago around. Let me tell you right now, if you don't have at least 3 months of reserve for contingency, if you don't have 3 months of income, right, money to support your business, you're in trouble. Now, do most of us have that? No. So unfortunately, there's going to be a lot of issues. Now, these loans going around, I'm connected with the city of Chicago. I see these loans. I see these government loans. Read the fine print. What's happening is, a lot of these loans, the first, 18 months are pretty much forgiven, right? Maybe 1% of interest rate, but at 18 months, you're paying that 5.75 or more interest rate, right? So let's evaluate that real quick. You good when everything is over. You got this just cash injection. You have the payroll money coming in and all your employees are paid. If your employees stay. If they stay, but otherwise they're paid, right? But what does that have to do with your business? Nothing. So you have to rehire again. You're doing great. You're trying to rebuild. You're spending more money now to rebuild your company because you've lost all these weeks. Now, during your rebuilding, you got to spend more money now, don't you?
Right.
So by month 18, not only are your other loans that you had that were deferred now due, but now you have to pay that 5.75 every month on that new loan that you now have that was forgiven for 18 months. Your loan just doubled.
Okay.
So how are you gonna make that money back 2 years later? So I said, unfortunately, these people that are jumping in for that free money, some may, and I never wish anything bad on anything, but trust me, I've been through it. I've lost everything. I know how this works.
Okay.
Mark my words, 2022, there's going to be a lot of businesses that are going to be gone because they can't pay for these loans. Okay. So I say this to say, to your point of reinventing yourself, take this opportunity, even if you're not an entrepreneur, even if it's just something to do on the side, or if it's something to learn.
Right.
Whether it's learning another trade, doing some online classes, learning who you are. Maybe it's just resting. I don't know. But you have to alter your thought process for the time we live in now.
Right. Yeah.
I've never focused on online sales in my life like I am now. Of course, I've been shipping around the nation all these years, but I've never focused on it because I'm worried about here. Well, I'm driving to Target to see what the salespeople are doing. I'm calling Whole Foods to see what's going on. Mm-hmm. Those bars and restaurants that Love Corkscrew was in are no more right now. I'm not positive they're going to open back up again.
Okay.
I want everybody to know that I'm sick of people saying I'm not tech savvy. Well, learn to be tech savvy.
Yeah, you have.
I'm sick of people saying I don't know how to use social media.
I had to
learn it. You can Google it.
Right.
Yeah, I had to do it in a day, but I'm like, you know what? I have to do it.
Learn
it. Practice because. But now that I've done it, it's like, oh shoot, I will never go back to just in the studio ever again because I could talk to people all over the world.
It's not hard.
I could do it all alone, you know, do anything with it.
You have to get up to the new age of learning what to do and how social media works, how tech works. Dust off those computers, buy a new one, whatever you got to do. Make it happen because this is a new day and age, and I promise you things are not going back to the way they used to. We're going to be in a new world from now on. Sorry.
Absolutely. Absolutely. I said that too, so wow. Okay, guys, now, this is Marcy. Marcy, can you hear me? I don't know. I want to say, what happened to Danae? I think she dropped off because I got kicked out of my own Zoom. For a moment, I got kicked out and I came back. I popped back in. So I'm like, I don't know what's going on. Probably the connection because everyone is making use of our internet. So Loretta.
Yeah.
Loretta, tell us a little bit about what you're doing and how you're adjusting. She's in the travel business, so
yeah.
So I own KLB Vacations, and I have been in business for 2 years now. I actually created my business. Gosh, I want to say a couple months before my mom passed away in 2018. I remember when I was growing up how we used to watch TV all the time, and I always used to look at all the different locations on television and things like that. And I always knew that those were places that I wanted to go. So eventually really got interested in travel, love to travel. Can't travel as much as I would like to, so I like to help other people that feel like they can't afford to do so and show them ways that they can afford to, create a budget behind being able to travel and things like that. Definitely have noticed huge changes in the travel industry and how we're all being affected. I am currently using a application called Buffer to help me to schedule out my posts for all of my different social media accounts. So then that way I can make sure that all the social media accounts are getting the same information, but they're getting scheduled at different times. So then that way I'm getting the visibility that I would like to get across all of the platforms. So it's been interesting. It's actually been a slow beginning of the year. Usually by now I've had a couple of group cruises planned and things like that, but at this point that's not necessarily the case. But because of the fact that it is something that I have been doing part-time in the past 2 years, I didn't jump, both feet in and just say, okay, I'm going to do this. I'm able to be a little bit more relaxed about it. I'm not as frantic as a lot of other of my counterparts are, where this is their livelihood and this is what their family survived on. They have $50,000 in cancellations and they don't know what to eat next month. So I've been building my business slowly, and I think that that's the best way for me to be able to do it. So hopefully I haven't been impacted as badly.
Well, I want to jump quickly because I know Chrishon has to leave pretty soon. Yes. Now I wanted to talk to you a little bit more because I know I've seen a lot of the posts and supporting the girls who just everyday needs that they have, and with everything being closed, like the schools and a lot of the supports that maybe they would have been able to get to, they can't. So that's why you started anxious, which you do all year round anyway, to help the girls get their everyday needs. So, and I know that you spoke a little bit about that too.
Okay. Yeah. Yeah, we were, well, so we have a program called Degrees Before Diapers, and it's implemented inside of some of the schools here. So, of course, when the schools closed, you know, there went my contract, you know, with the schools. And so, although I did have some clauses in the contract that I will be receiving, you know, some payment from it. So that's good. But for me, you know, I did have a little thing, you know, a couple of dollars put to the side, you know, for things like this. But for me, the biggest need is now it's like, how am I going to reach my girls? Because the girls that I work with, they just have so much going on. You know, don't get me started on, I feel like girls are not protected and they're neglected, and I won't get on my soapbox with that. But as we're talking about, you know, taking care of different populations, I just feel like the girls always get left out. And so I was panicking, like, oh my God, you know, what am I gonna do? They still call me. They still say, you know, so let me just say, as a part of the program, we make sure that girls who are experiencing, we're trying to prevent sexually transmitted infections and teenage pregnancy. So I may get a call from a girl who's saying, hey, I had this funky discharge going on, I need to go to the doctor. So we arrange those kind of trips and things like that. So now I'm trying to get this message, hey, let's not even have sex the rest of the month. If we do, some girls in different types of situations, you know, let's make sure we're using protection. And because I can't take you to the doctor. The doctors can't see you. They dealing with a real public health crisis here. Yeah. So really just working on mindset, even more so with the girls. But you know, they depend on us for like period products, soap, you know, diapers for the ones who are teen moms. And so I was like, damn, how am I going to do this that's safe for me and, you know, safe for them? So I have put out hood dollars, you know, to girls who I know, and I know the need from the participate in the program. But my goodness, it's like once I started doing that, I'm getting calls from girls in Louisiana, you know, all over. So I had to put some parameters in place. But I think now I'm going to try to do like hood drop-offs, you know, in a safe way that I can exchange the products with them. So just really having to rethink, you know, in the way that I'm engaging with them. We had a virtual group yesterday, so you know, everybody logged on. I want to see their face. You know, it's nothing like seeing their face to see if they're okay. And the same thing with our book club. Mr. Russell, Andre Russell, is one of my facilitators, and so we did a live session. Just trying to keep all the kids engaged because they're sad, they're anxious. A lot of them not graduating or not going on prom, you know, and I don't want them making foolish choices, you know, because of what's going on. So that's where I am with it. Just rethinking the strategy. You know, now what's going to be my funding source? I do have a few grants, you know, to cover, you know, some of the programs that I do. I think I'll be okay. You know, I'm more so just worried about them hanging on to the things I've taught them until I can, you know, get to them again. But we're definitely just meeting virtually, FaceTiming and all that stuff now.
Right. I know. I've been checking out the things that you're doing are very, very important because we don't have enough people doing that. We don't have enough people just meeting the young people's everyday needs, and that's so critical, especially at this time, you know. So, okay, so ladies, I know Chrishon is going to have to exit pretty soon because she has a fancy radio show interview. And not just
stop it. I just didn't want to be rude. No, I'm good I got at least another 10 minutes. Any questions, anything? I still got 10 minutes. So I'm good.
All right, good. Because I'm shooting for that fancy radio eventually. I'll get there.
We'll get it. We get it. Research. You got time to research.
Oh, well, I still have a day job too. So, you know.
I do too. Well, I don't now, but I used to. So yeah, I get it.
Superwoman, if you have a day job.
Let me talk to you about speaking things into existence.
Okay.
So March 2nd, I did a TEDx. Mind you, I have been wanting to do a TED. I'm sure, I don't know if you guys, does everybody know what a TED Talk is?
Oh, yeah.
So I have been wanting to do that for literally 4 years now. And I don't do vision boards because I'm not going to write no poster and hang it up. I'm just not going to do it. I'm sorry. I just don't. But in my mind, I'm like, I'm going to get this TEDx. I'm going to get it. Okay. I had that above getting a billboard in New York. Well, last year, I got a billboard in New York. So I had 2 billboards in Times Square. I went up there like I was on Survivor, had my backpack, and to this day, I still can't even believe it. But the TED Talk, I kept saying to myself, I'm going to get it. I'm going to get it. I don't know how, but it's going to happen. Ends up a connection from 10 years ago from the YWCA. She came to me and she said, Chrishon, I've been watching you all this time, and you have to do a TED Talk. And I don't know if you guys know, but the TEDx are the franchises of TED Talk. So a TED Talk are like Bill Gates doing a talk. Oh, okay. But then there's TEDx's that happen within different states. Well, nobody's ever done one on the south side of Chicago. So this one was called TEDx Grand Boulevard. And she's like, you must. I said, you're kidding, right? This is a joke, right? There's no way. Are you kidding? Speak something and you really want it, it's in your spirit, it will happen. And I'm so excited. It's coming out not next week but after, because they have to edit it and then it has to go to like the TED gods and they have to approve it. And it's so much to it. A lot of people think, oh, you're just getting an audience talking on a radio. Oh, it's like it's hard to stop or less. You have to be in the circle. If you're not in the circle, you get disqualified. You can't have cards. Like, it's super serious. And I was so excited to do it. But something like this, just so you guys know, the back end of it could take, my branding to another level. Because a lot of people that do the TED Talk don't necessarily have items to sell. They're using motivational speakers or experts and so forth. So my point is, speak it into existence and it can happen and it can change your life. Whatever that is, it can happen for you. Just keep talking it, keep thinking it. Know it's gonna happen.
Now, Chaz, will you do TED or something like that? I thought I saw you.
Who, me? Chaz?
Yeah.
Oh, yes, I did a event, TEDx Oak Park, over in Oak Park, around adolescent sexual health.
Love it. It's so much fun. It's stressful, but man.
Well, that's
I want 2 million views, so that's what I'm going
for. That's amazing.
That's excellent. Well, I'm definitely going to
speak it into existence. It'll happen.
Speak it.
I'm definitely going to. They're going to be saying, asking me how I made it through this podcast, and I'll say, "Oh, let me tell you."
Exactly.
Yeah, speak it, Gail.
It can happen. I promise you.
So, ladies, you have anything else you want to ask Chrishon while we still have her?
I do.
Okay. Finally,
I came in on the tail end of you explaining how do you market yourself online. If anybody, I know you ladies don't know me, but Gail, myself, and Delicia, we've all worked together, and I'm starting a product for women in the cannabinoid business. I had to kind of put it on hold because in light of everything that's going on. But my biggest dilemma, I was talking to Delicia last night, is trying to get this marketing and packaging, and it's a lot of stuff that I'm going to have to learn on my own. I have a millennial here who I feel should be helping me, but I guess I will have to learn a lot of this on my own. So what were you saying about marketing? Because I strictly want to do it online, basically Instagram or in Facebook.
And I'm sorry, what was the business?
It's cannabinoid business, but it will be a product for women.
Got it.
menopausal women.
Got it. So to not be redundant, the main thing is to identify your demographics. That's number one, and what they like.
Mm-hmm.
So I knew exactly what my demographics were. I knew it was 25 to 44, 6-figure income. They enjoy the extra things in life. I'm not a need, I'm a want. So I knew exactly where I sat, and I knew exactly how to go to them because A, I'm within that demographics myself, but B, I was able to nourish and study, my field to where I know how to hit them. I know how to hit them. They're not the email people. They're the Instagram people.
Oh, okay.
They're the Facebook. So when you say you want to focus on everything being online, know that because you have it and because you launch it doesn't mean it's going to happen for you. Just because you have a great website and you spend $4,000 for it doesn't mean people are going to click it.
Wow.
Sorry. But what you do have to do is build. So my number one suggestion of anyone starting out, and please, if you take anything I say from this, take this and really, really run with it. Start promoting before you develop. What do I mean by that? Mm-hmm. I was Love Corkscrew before one bottle went down the production line. Mm-hmm. People knew exactly who I was based off of I owned the art gallery and bar, and then I switched over to writing a blog, and my blog was called Love Corkscrew. And I took that blog and I did a radio show, and that was called Love Corkscrew. So I was Love Corkscrew before it was even made into a product. Mm-hmm. So understand, I have now built trust. So people knew and followed and wanted to follow. Wait, what's this Love Corkscrew? That's a cute name. Wait, she's into wine? Oh, wait, she knows the restaurants to go to. She knows what clubs, hot clubs to go to. Oh. So once I developed a following, and it was in the same line of what I was creating. So by the time the wine bottles came out, they were like, of course, I want it all. Take my money, Chrishon, because they trusted me. I hope you're seeing where I'm saying here. Use this time. Nothing's come to a halt. So you said the wrong thing right now. You said things have come to a halt. No, it has not. Now it's time for you to really develop your online presence. Develop that coming soon. Get all those pictures in tow. Get all the artwork, the logo, get your licensing. Everything is available online now. You don't have to go anywhere to go sign a paper anymore. I just signed a scholarship with my hand on the computer. So make sure that you are actually utilizing this time to do everything, not nothing.
Right.
Fair?
You have an event coming in, right? Is it April
22nd? Yes, I'm doing a virtual wine tasting. So to the point of transitioning to something I would never do, who the heck would do a tasting online, right? Well, that's the biggest craze now. So I did one for a group out of Maryland. I was going to go to a Black-owned vineyard in Maryland for a retreat, and they were sending me out there to do a 6-course meal. So that retreat ended up getting canceled. So they took all of the guests that had bought tickets and say, hey, we can refund half your money, and how about you guys do a tasting with Chrishon online? Well, it ended up being a huge hit. I sent them the wine, and we did a wonderful tasting for an hour and a half, and we had a ball. I did a whole charcuterie tray, and we just had a ball. And it was so cool because when I was seeing everybody on Zoom, they had their fruit and there's meal and everything stuff. They had the wine bottle face, and they made it a thing. And it had been great. So actually, I'm doing one on the 22nd, but Rashana Ali from Sister Circle called me and said she wants to do one. So I'm going to be doing one for her audience. So it's all about reinventing yourself and taking advantage of the disadvantage we have. Ooh, I felt that one.
All right.
All right. And to that point, I was going to say that just reminds me of creating momentum before the big thing is there. You have to create that momentum for something.
Otherwise, what is it for?
Right.
It's for just to say that you did it. So what? If people don't know what you're doing, and they're not eager to see what you've created, who cares?
Right. Yeah. So Marcy, you have to get that going, get that brand, and get that following.
Well, I actually did. I did a Oil by Embrace on Instagram, so I'm setting that up now.
Good.
So people know. And as an owner, do what you were saying. I kind of heard you were saying something about show them, be more organic, show them who you are, like
Yes.
you would on your own personal Instagram page?
So your story. Why did you create what you created? You have to show the audience why you did what you did.
Yeah.
Again, you know, I don't say this as I don't say it to anyone to insult them when I say you're not reinventing the wheel. I'm saying there's people with great ideas. I always use it like when the example of the mixtape versus the person becomes a superstar, right? You can have a great mixtape and be the best singer, the best rapper, and nobody ever hears you. But then the superstar who has half your talent ends up making millions and becoming popular.
Yeah,
because they made a voice for themselves, because people saw them. So you have to be heard. People do want to hear your story. What the famous rap stories are always making it out of the hood, right? So whatever that story is, tell it and people will come to you.
Yeah.
Trust me on that. Tell your story. You don't have to tell all gritty detail. Like I said, nobody cares about my man who's in the living room. But what I want people to know is my journey.
Right.
And why. And that I'm 60 out of 111,000. It's those things that are going to make your business successful. Let people in as much as you can.
Okay, ladies. I don't want to have us shut out like at the last minute. So I just want to thank you all for joining me, and thank you, Chrishon. And I wish
Thank you.
Thank you. Good
Thank
stuff.
you.
Anytime you want me on, just let me know. By all means.
Definitely. And I have another one headed to Zoom on Thursday at the same time, 7 o'clock, and we're going to be talking with John Fountain. He's a columnist, journalist, author at Sun-Times, and he's an award-winning actually journalist. So you guys, he's hot stuff. So he's going to be talking to us about the missing and murdered women of color and on the west and south sides of Chicago. And these are stories that he actually covered out in the field. So it'll be interesting to hear what he has to say. And with that, I just want to thank you again for joining us, and see you guys. And it's
Bye.
Bye. Thank you.
Bye. Thanks again.
That's the whole reason that this show is here, is to uplift and empower, to educate. And with that, I have to tell you good night. Thank you.
Good night.
Bye.
Good night.